It'll show us. Okay. So hello, everybody. I'm glad to come on live today. Sorry, we're a tad bit late. I was fixing a little bit of tech issues. Those that might not know me, but you should from the group, but I'm Shari. I have with me today Pam, and I'm so excited to dive in and hear a little bit more about Pam's story. I know her just from some mutual friends and mutual groups, but I don't know like her exact entire story, and I wanted to share who she is and what she's doing and learn a little bit of that along with you, because I think she's someone doing some pretty incredible things. And Pam, welcome.
Thank you.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
excited to get to know you better too, because we keep seeing each other, but yet, yes, I'm ready for a conversation.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just kind of dive in and share with everybody a little bit about what it is that you even do. Like, kind of what's
Okay.
your mission and what is it that you're up to lately?
Yes. Okay. All right. Hi, I am Pam. I have founded Health on the Homefront. So I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and a chef. So I went to culinary school. Food is my obsession. I'm thinking about it constantly. Um, but what I do is help military spouses to lose weight, really find their personal mission and break through the loneliness that's really kind of all consuming in the military lifestyle. So that is the short way to say it. And
Yeah.
so I'm a mom of three boys, Ryder, Colton, and Cruz. They are 10, 9, and 6. We're currently at Fort Riley, came from 2 years in South Korea, and that's where I really like started my business.
Mhm.
Um, but I got into holistic nutrition because we went through a bit of a journey that was filled with multiple miscarriages. And it was really just a tough road. And our insurance was, TRICARE was telling us that they weren't going to dive any further until we'd hit 4. And so it was just, I remember leaving that appointment. And first of all, I was just mad. Tears were just flowing. I was in my 30s and having gone through 3 already, I just remember thinking, like, how much loss do you have to experience? Because they were seeing it as, okay, she hit 1, she hit 2, she hit 3, no, but we got to get to 4. And I was really feeling it as I had a baby and I lost it,
Mhm.
So it was like an extreme amount of loss and an emotional ride. And I just started blaming myself, even though they kept saying everything's normal. It's easy to feel guilty when your body's not doing something that you feel it should be doing naturally. And that seemed to come so naturally to everybody else. As I started sharing my story, I realized how many people were going through the same struggles. And so that led to really diving into research and what I could do for myself to remove that guilt. And it all kept coming back to food and just discovering how powerful it was what we put into our body.
Mhm.
And that's how it all started. And then it just rolled over into that I wanted to teach people this and really dive in more and learn so much more. So I went back to college and got certified in holistic nutrition. And that's really kind of how it all like started and kind of came to
Mhm.
fruition. And that got the ball rolling. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry on your losses, but two, like the courage, one, to take like that loss in that situation and figure out how do I overcome this? And like
Right.
you said, just the courage to share that. I'm sure even amongst everyone in this group, there's I think 27 moms. I'm
Yeah.
sure there are numerous. My sister even herself kind of
Yeah.
went through a little bit of a journey, but the military and the check the box red tape is hard,
Yes.
but that's a reality
Yeah.
so many like military moms and spouses like deal with,
Oh,
because it is
absolutely.
a different lifestyle.
Yeah, and then you're constantly getting different doctors, just the transition with all the military stuff. And then my husband wouldn't even be there. It was like getting to that 11-week mark where we were going to be checking to see, and that's where it would kind of go south for me. So there was so much fear and anxiety each time. And then if he wasn't there, and then, the tech gets up and is like, okay, I'll be right back. And you're just like, oh my God, okay, this isn't good. Here we go again. Yeah. So I really had to take my health into my own hands, at least just to know whether it was going to help me get pregnant and stay that way or not. I needed to know I was doing what I could for myself and my health, and then just so many other benefits came from doing that. But yeah, it was powerful. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And with your kind of your culinary background with that, was that something you already had, or was that something you went and pursued kind of prior? Because I didn't know you had that background as well. I've done stuff a little bit with you, like your smoothie challenge, and just like that knowledge and layer, I'm so curious about.
Yeah. So I was in the Army. That's how I actually met my husband. That was something I never thought I was ever going to do. I had backpacked around the world and then came back and had no money and couldn't find a job because 9/11 happened. It was this whole series of life events, that brought me to who I am. And so I got out of the military and I had the GI Bill. Well, I'd always loved cooking and always wanted to go that route. And I thought, what better thing than to use my GI Bill to do that? And we found ourselves stationed in Washington State, and there was a culinary school. So the fact that I actually got to go in person is kind of almost heard of for military spouses too. And so I was able to, it was the most fun school. Like I loved my holistic nutrition one too. That was really neat. But going to school every day and in the kitchen and cooking and learning about that was just so fun. Yeah. So I got that first. And then you kind of graduate culinary school and it's like, okay, now you can go be a line cook, which is all fine and dandy, but I wanted something more with that. And I'd always been intrigued with nutrition and food and always kind of cooked with like a healthy angle. And so it was just kind of a natural fit when when it fell into my lap with the whole fertility journey and stuff. Because I really started exploring a lot of Eastern medicine and acupuncture and stuff like that too. And it just kind of opened up my world to this whole new experience. Because I grew up with, my dad's a doctor. He's a family physician. So I didn't even know, I wasn't ever exposed to sort of this other side of medicine and lifestyle and all of that stuff, So it was really fun to dive into that.
That is. And I found that in my own journey the same way, because dealing with like when people have pain and just healing tissues. And I mean, even when you take the mindset and visualizations and different things that come a little bit more from Eastern medicine, and start to integrate that in, it's amazing the changes that you see and like just the little subtle things you can add and change and how drastic that is. But same thing, I've been talking to people I work with on, anti-inflammatory foods and diet. And, if you want to get the fastest healing and use every trick in the book, let's use everything together. And
it facilitates it so much faster. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Now, I did one of your challenges in the past with different smoothies. And honestly, I've been making smoothies since like high school. It's like my favorite thing. But I learned so much just on like ingredients I didn't even know I could combine. And I guess that's where your culinary aspect probably comes in.
Yes. I think about combinations all the time. Yes.
But I found it fascinating on like different things you can add for like energy and like, how I could get actual like other benefits other than just it tastes good.
Right. Or this is going to make me feel better. Yeah. It goes deeper than that for sure.
Yeah. And I love just the different layers to that, that it might seem across the board something simple or the same as what others are doing that's out there. And the world that you find online, but there's so much more depth to it.
Right. And when you discover that, the depth that is to it, it makes it more powerful on your
Yes.
body, you know,
Mhm.
because there's just more intention behind it that when
Mhm.
you're making it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And then how have you, like, what are some of the things that you do with Health on the Home Front? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes,
Um,
so meal planning is a big thing.
okay.
I am about to launch my new membership, and this is something I've been working on for a while, so I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got my guided wellness journeys that I am taking people through, and
Mhm.
a big focus of it as well is going to be a creative area, because I
Okay.
think especially within the military community, a lot of times, we're just so busy and there's just a lot on our plate as a spouse that
Mhm.
diving into different creative avenues, it just sort of opens you up to you might discover something that you didn't even know you could do. Like when I started painting dot mandalas, like it was just, I've got one right here also. I started painting them and
Mhm.
I just had no idea that I had some random talent in there. And then I started drawing them and started doodling and just sort of exploring new areas because I tried something different. So
Mhm.
I'm lining up like a hypnotherapist that's going to come in and do a special one for the group.
Mhm.
I've got somebody doing like a fun makeup application, just like different stuff that's outside of the box that we don't
Yeah.
necessarily correlate with wellness, but it's good for your mental health,
Mhm.
and that's such a huge part of our wellness is just having some fun too. As, adult
Mhm.
women, a lot of times when we think of fun, we think that has to involve our kids and playing a game, but having a little something that's just for us that we can do in our own space quickly, you know?
Yeah.
And so then this next week, I have a free workshop going on. So if you're a military spouse, I would love to invite you. It starts
Yeah.
tomorrow, and that's a 5-day escape. So it's a little taster of all that we're going to be doing in the membership, too. So it's everybody's coming together, and it's a really great group of women that are just looking for a break right now. Life has been stressful and challenging and hard with homeschooling. That's not
Yeah.
something I ever wanted to take on. I know, so I have so many friends that do it so well. It's just not something I wanted to put on my plate.
Uh-huh. Yeah, totally. We all have like our preferences, and
Yes,
then
that's not my zone of
there's
genius.
yeah, yeah. There's some things we just want to let someone else wear that hat, right?
Yes,
I don't need that
someone that
one too.
enjoys it a bit more. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so we're all getting together to do that. So
I think that is amazing, and I think it sounds completely perfect for right now. I mean, like
yeah.
as moms right now, it is. We've kind of had, I'm in Ohio, so we were some of the very first ones to start the quarantine process and closing
Yeah.
schools and stuff.
That was
And
Kansas too. Yeah, I think we
yeah,
were the first state to close it schools down.
okay,
Yeah. But it helped our
yeah,
numbers. Our numbers are very low, so that's
good.
good. Yeah.
Ohio's are when you look at like total population
Right.
percentage and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so you figure it's like 2 months that we've been wearing all of these extra hats.
I know.
Yeah, and I have found myself, it's just nice when you get that little break. Like
Yes.
Elise in our group, she owns her own fitness company. So she's been doing like the Zoom workouts that a lot of people are
Mm,
doing. Um, and
nice.
I've been
Yeah. That's-
hopping on her Monday ones and just like having something that's like for me. Like it
Yes,
doesn't have to be
exactly.
long, but just something that like I can break away and say,
Yes.
this is my thing. This is my little window.
And to
Like
have
it's
that
so
excuse,
rejuvenating.
like,
Yeah.
okay, this I have to show up for 30
Mhm.
minutes on this
Yeah.
day, and you will hold
Mhm.
yourself to it,
Yeah.
instead of saying,
Exactly.
okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'm going to start this tomorrow. It's so easy
Mhm.
to not prioritize your stuff,
Yeah. Mhm.
for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So I think it's awesome as far as just the space to hang out, the space to unwind, the distraction mentally.
Yeah.
Like I found that on the couple little things I've done that were like, hey, I have this scheduled thing. It was just so nice to have like me time that I like put those blinders on and I go. So I think everything you're planning
Yeah.
sounds so fabulous. Um,
Yeah.
so if
I
you're
know my
in,
work for me has been a
yeah,
saving grace because it's something that
mhm,
is like my creative outlet too. But I know so
mhm,
many people don't have that right now, you know?
right. Hmm.
So, yeah.
I think that's amazing that you're giving everyone, you know, that opportunity and creating that space and that community because the community aspect too, it cannot be
Yeah.
forgotten
Yes.
whatsoever at this time where especially it's lonely as it is, but then
Hmm.
military life with frequent moves can be very lonely. So those that don't know, my husband was prior Army. So we had, I don't know, something like 6 moves in 8.5 years. And we had another four. We would, he would have stayed, we would have had 4 more moves in the next 6 years, is what we
Oh my
basically had like on the docket.
God.
Um, and we just looked at that and was like, for the mental health of our oldest
Hmm.
and the lack of stability and stuff, it was like we just needed at that point to take our step away. And
Yeah.
he was not loving it as much as he once did. And it was like, if you don't love what you do, then
Absolutely.
this is crazy of what
Yeah.
we're
It's just
doing, you know?
wearing you down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of just took that time and made our family decisions. But
Mm.
all of those moves, it was easy when I was working. But once I had kids and I was home as a mom, like
Yeah.
you didn't have that immediate like friendship where when you had a
Right.
job, you could walk into the workplace and it was like, hi, I'm Shari. I'm your new friend, you know?
Exactly.
And then as a
Yeah.
mom, you're like, you have to put yourself out at the playgrounds and you're trying to find,
Right.
hey, I've seen the same person at Starbucks. Maybe I can wave, and
Completely.
like
I
just have
know.
some kind of
Yeah.
connection.
That's what
Um,
I try to tell my husband too. It's like, even if you go to work, even if these aren't your buddies, necessarily not going to love everybody he works with, but you have other adults you get to see and communicate with. I am like, with the kids who I love and adore, but 24/7 is a lot with
mhm.
kids,
Yeah,
and especially
yeah,
right now where we don't have a break, where sometimes there would be days that he'd come home and I'd just go like window shop at a store just to get away from the
mhm.
home for a little bit and have a minute to myself. And it's sort of like
Yeah,
that's all been removed from us right now.
yeah, yeah, completely. I will admit I went to Meyer Tuesday after work just briefly. I had to
Yeah,
get 2 things. I ended up spending an hour and filling my entire cart because it just felt good to be out.
exactly. I
I was like,
know.
oh, the toddler needs new shoes. His feet grew and they don't fit him. I
Look
need to go
over
to the shoe
here.
section. And my oldest is having a birthday, so I need to go find a birthday
Oh,
gift while
yeah.
I'm here. And like I found all these excuses to go all these extra
Yes.
aisles
Keep staying
because it just
out.
felt so good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
As bad as we're trying to stay in and all of that, but
Yeah.
just for sanity's sake, it was nice.
Completely. Especially when you go to a place that's being very proactive about making it feel like a safer environment with the
Yeah.
distance and limiting people. And I
Hmm.
know on post here, especially at Fort Riley, they're really good about the measures that they're taking. So when
Hmm.
we do go out, it's like terrifying for that minute before you go in, and it's like, okay, there's always a
Hmm.
chance of anything, but
Yeah.
they're really being proactive with,
Hmm.
taking steps and sanitary stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. And
once
that's
I'm
so
in, I'm like, okay, this feels good to be away. It's like sitting in the parking lot before I go in, though. Do I really need this? Do I really have to go in? I think we've got enough. We can get by another handful of days, you know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it does
Yeah.
feel good to get away.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, I am so thankful that you were able to take some time, one, out of your Mother's Day to come
Yeah.
on and talk. Now, if everybody wants to kind of join in with your hangout that you have going on, where do they go or where do they find you in order to get signed up and kind of follow
Yeah.
you even more?
It is, if you go to healthonthehomefront.com,
Okay.
It is on the website there. I can also post the link too.
Perfect.
But it is Millspouse Hangout. So yeah, I will post that, and it
Okay.
starts tomorrow. So I would love to have anybody get in that feels that is a good fit. And then I'm on Instagram and Facebook, like stories.
I'm
I lost for a
starting.
second. The wheels were spinning.
Sorry, my tech issues, I think. So I did get like
Oh,
right
that's
before
funny.
your Instagram, and then I think it got a little choppy. So if you want to
Yeah,
post those as well as the sign up link, so people can find you,
I will.
because I know we have a big military spouse population kind of within.
Wow.
So Elise is in Virginia, so there's quite a bit of the Virginia group of moms that are in the group, that between Pentagon and Fort Belvoir and all of those,
Yeah,
kind of have a bunch there. But then I know we have pieces of, everyone being scattered everywhere, because that's how military life works.
yeah, totally. That's the neat thing. We have friends
Yeah,
everywhere, you know?
and that is such a blessing. Um,
It is.
So for anyone that hopped on and is still watching, by the way, whether it's the replay, say hi in the comments. Let us know that you are here, because sometimes we can see who watched, or like that somebody watched, but not necessarily who. So make sure you say hi
Right.
if you haven't. But yes, thank you so much for coming on, Pam. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you for
chatting.
having me. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. So
anytime.
wonderful. And then look in the comments so you can make sure to join in with everything that Pam has going on that's exciting this week. And happy Mother's Day. We will catch you guys
Happy
later.
Mother's Day.
Bye.